Hello, everyone. I hope you enjoyed your little Christmas present. And by the way, I got a Christmas present, and you'll never guess what it is. A better microphone. So, hopefully, you can see a difference in the audio, and well, it's the one I'm going to be using from now on. So I hope you enjoy it. And here's your next chapter. Chapter 5. Durana awkwardly bit her tuna very slowly, keeping her eyes on the woman. And then she ate the trout when Proto was done eating it. Here, Proto, we can make this weirdo leave, right? Durana whispered to the small squid. She noticed how he was already looking a little bigger. "Hello?" Durana asked again, tilting her head. "Hello," the girl murmured, leaning against the wall and looking Durana up and down. She splashed around under the water and didn't know why the girl was watching Durana. "Princess Sabrina! Princess Sabrina!" someone shouted from the halls. Durana rolled her eyes and closed the door with her tail, hissing. "Not in here. Go away," she muttered, splashing down into the water. The girl above looked anxious now. "Are you okay?" Durana asked. "What?" The girl snapped out of her anxiety trance and stared at Durana. She smiled and leaned forward against the wall of the pool. "Are you okay?" she asked again. The girl clenched her jaw nervously. "You're hiding?" Durana asked, tilting her head. "Well, kind of. My mother wants to make me something I'm not," she mumbled. "Is she the princess, Proto?" Durana asked the small squid. He crawled down her arm and onto the floor towards the girl. He likes you. That's cute," Durana said softly. "You don't speak English very well. Who's teaching you?" the girl asked, eyeing Proto skeptically. Durana snickered and smiled a little. "Benjamin," she answered. "Isn't he the one that caught you? Why does he hang around you so much?" the princess asked. Durana melted a little. "He didn't. I'm free soon. Ben doesn't want me here much," she murmured. "That wasn't what I was told, but uh, here I am, about to take the throne," the girl grumbled. Proto grabbed her shoe and climbed to her leg. "Ah! Stop that! It tickles!" Sabrina laughed, grabbing Proto off her leg. "He likes you," Durana whispered. "Does he do that to a lot of people?" Sabrina asked. "No one but me, actually," Durana muttered in her language. Then she shook her head to give the answer to Sabrina. "This isn't like any species of squid I know," Sabrina marveled. "I see them all the time," Durana whispered to herself. "Hey, Durana, have you seen—" Benjamin came in and looked at Sabrina in shock. "Please don't tell anyone," Sabrina blurted. Why?" Benjamin murmured, closing the door quietly. "She's like me. Trapped," Durana sighed, resting her head on her arms. Proto squeezed Sabrina's hands a little and then let go. "Here, you can have him back," Sabrina said, handing him over while sitting down at the same time. Why did she sit so close to Durana? It was almost a nice feeling. Benjamin gave a sad look at Durana. "And I'm trying to fix that. The Queen also wants to help as well, but the King says if we put more sirens in the ocean, more ships will sink," he explained. "She's not a mermaid?" Sabrina asked blankly, looking at Durana with newly formed horrified eyes. Durana melted and slid under the water. "I don't even sing, and we all know I'm not pretty enough to trick anyone. Oh boy, more terrified humans," she mumbled to herself. Benjamin explained a few things to Sabrina and sat next to her. Proto wiggled back to Sabrina and sat down next to her boot in a cute way. "Wow, he never does that with me," Benjamin mused. Maybe it's because he doesn't like you? Most sailors are men. I'm not, Sabrina pointed out. Frodo? Is that true? Is that why you don't like Benjamin? Durrana snickered. Benjamin reached out to Proto, but he spilled ink and zigzagged back to Durrana. Ooh, a stain. Ugh, I never get these. I'm like a porcelain doll for display. I hate my parents, Sabrina groaned, looking at her boot. Durrana knew how that felt. Jinx was the same way. You might appreciate them more once you lose them, Durrana whimpered, unable to stop her tears. Durrana, I'm sorry about your friend, okay? They were Robert's crew. They were all bad news, Benjamin said softly, rubbing her shoulder. Ouch! You're covered in spikes. It's hard to comfort you. He laughed awkwardly, holding his scraped-up hand. Durrana rolled her eyes at him in a friendly way. Who? What are you talking about? Sabrina asked. Well, before we came here, a sea beast tried to protect Durrana, but it did not end well, Benjamin explained mournfully. Durrana, who is that sea beast to you? Sabrina asked. Benjamin gave a look as if he wished he asked that sooner. Durrana wiped her tears a little. My father, she whispered. Benjamin was shocked, and Sabrina covered her mouth. Durrana, I'm so sorry, Sabrina whimpered, glancing at Benjamin. Durrana, you don't blame me, right? I tried to get you back in the ocean, okay? I wanted everything to go right, and I didn't. I'm really, really sorry, Ben said softly, grabbing one of her hands. He was kinda small compared to Durrana. Suddenly, a man happily entered the room, smiling at Ben. We got you a wagon, he said happily. And what about the Netfield Bay? Durrana would get stuck, Benjamin asked. And a small boat, the man stammered. Durrana lit up. She was going home? The man was actually the one that had come previously. The one that told Ben that the Queen wanted him. Eventually, Benjamin and Sabrina helped cover Durrana in wet towels. Can I sneak out with you? Just to be out of the castle for a bit? Sabrina asked. They hid Sabrina and Durrana under a towel, and then they were gone. Benjamin and the other man pushed the wagon out of the pool room. What's in that cart? A guard asked skeptically. Just some goods we're bringing to some families, the other man said smugly. The guard lifted the wet towel and blinked rapidly at Durrana. Be quick, the guard said submissively, tucking the towel back where it was. Benjamin splashed more water on Durrana. Durrana curled up tighter and hugged Sabrina with excitement. They took her down to the docks, where they were taken to a small rowboat. Sabrina was looking around like she had just entered paradise. I've always wanted to be in the ocean, she mused. Really? Even after a bunch of scary siren stories? Ben asked. I never minded it. I just wanted to experience it, you know? Sabrina shrugged. Okay, Durrana. I know you're excited, but let's get you out to a space where you're not going to get caught by a bunch of nets, Benjamin explained, paddling them out of the docks. They passed a few ships. Sabrina was smiling the whole time. The boat suddenly jerked to one side, as if something was trying to tip it over. Whoa! A big fish, maybe? Benjamin chuckled worriedly. Then something dragged Benjamin into the water. Benjamin! Durrana and Sabrina cried at the same time. Please tell me you know what just took him, Sabrina asked quickly. Durrana coughed and got splashed with more water. Lionfish? Is that you? Durrana called out into the water. Benjamin splashed up frantically and grabbed the boat. Lionfish! He barked. Then Lionfish came up in her human form. Liana, she corrected him sweetly. What? Oh, right. He coughed, climbing back into the boat. Sabrina scooted over to Durana and glanced at Lionfish anxiously. What are you doing here? Durana squeaked. Saving you! They killed Jinx, and I wasn't going to let them kill you and put you on display, Lionfish said sternly. But why? Durana squeaked. I wasn't going to let that happen, Liana, Benjamin said grumpily. Uh, uh, are, are you like a mermaid or some sort of person that just, like, knows Durana? Sabrina stammered, rubbing Proto with her finger. And you are? Lionfish retorted. Don't worry, she's an ally, Ben said quickly. Uh, you know what, Benjamin? You're really not what I expected. Durana, are you feeling okay? We're leaving, Lionfish said sternly. Proto suddenly squeaked and held tight to Sabrina's hand. Squids don't make noise, Benjamin said skeptically. Sure, like you spend all of your time in the ocean. Oh my shells! Who are you? Lionfish said, narrowing her eyes at Sabrina. Sabrina, she stammered. You look like Sailfish. She disappeared from our waters a few years ago. You look just like her. Just like her. Exactly like her. Lionfish mused. Uh, I was born here, I think, Sabrina said stubbornly. Have you ever been in the ocean? Lionfish asked skeptically. It got quiet. You think Sabrina is a siren? Benjamin squeaked. No. Uh, what? I wouldn't I have a tail or something if I was a siren? Sabrina laughed. Then how do you explain me? Lionfish said slyly. Lionfish is a siren. Durana nodded. Sabrina got red. But I'm not a siren. I'm just a human. Sabrina Ingelek, Princess of Larmar, she stammered. Lionfish swished into her mer form and narrowed her eyes at Sabrina. Wow, that's incredible, Sabrina mused. Hey, Captain, take us to Seal Reef, the Lionfish said in a seductive voice. Sure, he staggered, rowing the boat again and again. Lionfish, why do you think Sabrina is a siren? Durana whispered. She's got the aura. I can kind of just, I don't know, sense her magic, Lionfish said stubbornly. How do you talk like that? All squeaky and stuff, Sabrina asked. Lionfish rolled her eyes and dove into the water. Durana took Proto back and looked at Sabrina. Could Proto feel her magic as well? Is that why he liked her? Lionfish grabbed the back of the boat and pushed it. They got to Seal Reef by sunset. Hey, Sailfish, I want to show you something, Lionfish said smugly. Then Durana watched her cast a spell. She grabbed Sabrina's hand and pulled her into the water. Durana followed. Under the water, she watched the spell do its job. This is future me, speaking to you right now. I am so sorry that the audio overlapped. I did not know this was a thing, and I probably should start listening and double checking all of my videos before I post them, and I will be doing that. This error probably will not happen again. I am so sorry. I've got it fixed. Hopefully you enjoyed it better this time, and sorry again. And the next episode and chapter will come very soon. Goodbye.